Um, a top priority as mayor would be to lower property taxes. I think as property taxes continue to rise in order to cover needs of the city, we also create more issues. When we do that, I believe that La Crosse is missing out on opportunities to bring in more businesses and bring in more residents with our increasing property taxes. For some, that's just kind of like a deterrent. Um, if somebody looking at buying a house in La Crosse says or sees that they can get so much house for a good price, while at the end of the year, there's these property taxes. And I've talked to quite a few residents, whether it's door to door phone calls or just passing by, that feel like we need to put a halt to them increasing so much. And I think that would be a first step in the right direction, especially because we do have so many vacant properties and buildings throughout the city. And I think we as a city would be more competitive to bring businesses into those buildings. But I think with high property taxes, it stops businesses from relocating, as well as residents wanting to move within the city. I believe that the most urgent economic issue is the budget that we have for the city, and I believe that the budget needs to be addressed. We sure can go through, and find ways to keep the budget as balanced as possible. Um, whether it's discussing costs of projects that we have going on throughout the city right now, um, and finding more ways to bring in revenue and funding for those, such as the La Crosse Center, or even just going through and stopping any unnecessary spending that we're doing. Is this what the city needs, or is this what the city wants? If we sit there and we reevaluate and start to reallocate funds and stuff like that, just being smart about everything, I think we could have a well-balanced budget, fixing things that are required throughout the city. In doing that, we won't be depleting all of our funds that the city has. And I think being able to take care of the city's needs and keeping a good handle on the budget and keeping money where it needs to be is a huge key factor in moving forward with the city. I think that we are all fortunate enough to live in a city slash community where it hasn't been as much of an issue as it has been in other cities and states throughout the US. With that being said, however, there are always room for improvements. I think that the county officers through La Crosse County getting body cams is a big step in the right direction. Um, all parties involved, whether it's the police officer or those involved in the incident, seem to behave a little bit better when they know that the public can have access to footage from the incident. So I believe that body cams is a huge step in the right direction. But I also believe that it's important that all residents of La Crosse know who their neighbors are, who you're going to be working around, living around, and stuff like that. I think we as a community need to do a better job of spreading awareness. We are a diverse city, which is great. I just don't think that a lot of residents realize how diverse we actually are. So we need to make sure that we all know who our neighbors are, whether it's more community events in La Crosse, community days, picnics, stuff like that, or just doing a better job of hosting diversity training and stuff like that, businesses around the area, in schools and such. We did that quite a few times in the Navy while I was in, and it worked, whether it was new sailors checking into the command or a change of leadership. You put the awareness out there. Hey, it's not just you and you. We have a whole entire melting pot of people coming together here to get the job done. And that's what we do in La Crosse on a daily basis. So I feel it's important for us as a community to come together to move forward in a positive direction. but I also believe that support for our law enforcement officers is important, just as they support us out there on a daily basis.